Okay, welcome to the bench once again. I'm looking today at a little amateur FM transceiver. I'm not sure if it's dual band or just yeah, I'm not sure whether it's dual band or single band, but it's either 2 meters or 70 sems. But basically, apparently this rotary encoder's not working. Now the owner sent me two that he's got from eBay, I think, so I'm just in the process of taking the lid off to have a look, see how the knobs come off, because I would assume they just pull off, but I've got no service information for this. So what we're going to try and do is get the part replaced, and I suppose see if that makes any difference. If it doesn't, we're out of luck. But let's get these little nuts out. I mean, it's a solid bit of kit. It's all die-cast aluminium body by the looks of it. So it's the whole body's a heat sink. Very well made bits of kit, Yaesu. Okay. There we go, that's the top off. So the speaker contacts are just there. I better stick my ESD armband thingy on. Dig it out from underneath all this junk down here. Don't want to go zapping any ICs. Sure enough, there's the little encoder. I did say if this is a quick fix, I'd do it there and then. Not to be fair, that knob is just a push fit. That could be pretty easy, depending on how this board comes out. Now, does that board unplug, or does the whole lot have to come out? That is going to be a pain in the neck, because I think I'm going to have to take the whole board out. In order to get them, and I can just about get to two of the solder connections there, but there's one underneath that I can't get at. Also, this knob should in theory just come off, but it's absolutely on there. I mean, there's no screw hole in the middle, so someone must have glued the blooming things on. I can see the D flat there. Ah, there we go. I think that's come in. Is it? Yeah, someone's glued that on. So I'm going to have to somehow, someone snapped that off at some stage and super glued it back on. So I'm probably going to have to drill all that lot out in there. Don't know if you can see that, but Yeah, it looks like that's broken at some stage and someone's super glued it back in. And it looks like there's a load of screws holding the board in. One in the middle by the looks of it. And possibly two here. The only reason I'm going on that assumption is because they're all sort of cross-hatched. Those two are longer. And they've got some heatsink compound on them. I think they need to be undone, do they? It may be that we've got to unscrew the power amplifier as well. No. Yeah, the heatsink screws have got to come out for the, I think it's voltage regulator. Are they the same? Yes, they are. Yeah, and those securing the amplifier down. It's never going to be a 5-minute job, is it? So they're covered in even more thermal grease. There we go. Just need to make sure I renew that afterwards. It does look like this front panel does unscrew, but there's some sort of interface there. I don't know if that actually is plugged into that board. It must be. They'd never get that soldered there, would they? I'm going to have to get a magnifying glass a minute and have a look at that, so bear with me. Okay, well, on closer inspection it does look like that is a plug and socket there. So what I'm going to do is undo these little screws here, like very small Phillips. Very long Phillips. That holds a display on as well by the looks of it. Or, yeah, let's not take a display out. What we'll do is we'll undo these screws here. Hopefully my theory's right in that. Yes. Oh yes, you beauty. There we are. So that was indeed a connector. So we needed to now desolder this. So bear with me, I'm going to get the desoldering gun fired up. We'll desolder the 2 securing tabs and the 3 pins. Then we can pop the new one in. Put it back together and then try and sort this knob out. So bear with me while I get that done. Okay, so there's the old one desoldered. What I'm going to do is just get some braid now, just clean that up. Just pop a little bit of flux on it to sort of supercharge it. Okay, let's get a smaller piece for those other ones. All cleaned up. A bit of isopropyl. Get rid of that old flux. Right, let's pop the new one in, hopefully it'll fit. Let's rest that on something. Should go in dead straight. Just put a little tiny bit of flux on each bit there, just to help it flow a bit better. Turn that stretch on. cool down for a second. This next one's going to be a little bit trickier because they're quite small pens, so I'm going to just bring the magnifier in, but you should be able to see still. Yeah, I'm going to have to bring that around, facing me that way today. That's better. Got a fairly large chisel tip on here at the moment, but that should be fine. Well, can't go right. No, that one's not gone very well. As that middle one's decided it doesn't want to solder very well, so let's just put a little bit more flux on it. Just not gone in behind very well. There we go. Perfect. So there we are. One new rotary encoder. Let's put it all back together and give it a try. One thing I do need to do before we finish is get rid of this old fairly stiff thermal compound or heat sink compound, whatever you call it. Yuck. I get this everywhere, this stuff. A bit of alcohol on there. And the same for the base of the transistors there. It's not nice stuff, is it? I'm just putting it on with a cocktail stick. Make sure it's nice and even. Bit too much there. Yuck. Yeah, Graham, you've got to put the front panel back on, haven't you, idiot? Now I'm definitely going to get myself covered in that grease, aren't I? Right. Make sure I line this up and don't get any pins bent. There we go. There we go. Right. I don't think I managed to get all that all over myself again, so let's line it back up yet again. There we go. Squidged back in. do them loosely to start with. So I can jiggle it about a little bit then if I need to. There we go. I'd say the speaker makes contact to these two little things here. Funny little things. Anyway, let's have a look at that dial glass there. Make sure it's nice and clean. Very carefully. So put it back in. Right. Okay, got a nice bit of that white stuff on here. Got to come off. There she is back together with a new rotary encoder. Now the hardest job of all is going to be getting this muck out of this poor old dial knob. What a pain. So I'm going to chip and scrape away at that, see if I can get it out. Okay, well, luckily I managed to get it out. So yeah, basically somebody had super glued that together. Oh, yeah, somebody had super glued that together. There's the bit of super glue that was in the middle, so thanks whoever done that. But luckily for the owner, I managed to get it out. So let's pop it back onto the radio. Dust in there, let's get that out. Well, we got the knob off. There we go. Good as new. Let's hope that's cured the issue. Now, I'm going to have a look at the spec. This is a Yaesu FT1500M. I think it's a 2 meter radio. It might be dual band, but I think it's 2 meters. But I've only got a 5 amp supply here. I've got a 30 amp over the other side of the room on my Radio Shack side of the room. Okay, before I plug this in, have a look at this. I mean, God, dear, oh dear. It's got this thick wire for a reason. It's high ampage. you know, the current draw on these things is probably, I don't know, I'm going to have to look it up in a minute, but it probably does somewhere around about 50 watts, I would have thought. But then they've gone to a smaller gauge wire, and I mean, look at the join on it. I give up really sometimes. The other thing, I mean, yeah, okay, they put a clip-on suppressor on it, crop clips, but you know, where's the fuse? There should be an inline fuse. I'm sure there should be an inline fuse in that. So I'm going to look all that up a minute. Okay, well, I did a little bit of looking online. So basically it is a 2-meter radio, transmits 144 to 148 megahertz, it receives wider than that. But the important stuff on it is here, which is the consumption. So for receive only 0.6 of an amp, transmit at full 50 watts. It actually draws 8 amps, and my power supply there is 5. 25 watts it draws 6 amps, 10 watts it draws 3, and 2 amps it draws 5 watts. Sorry, 5 watts it draws 2 amps, so I can run it on 5 or 10 watts on my power supply. I can certainly run it in receive only, so we can test it out. That's one thing. But I mentioned the power cable, and it should have a DC power cable of at least capable of 10 amps continuous duty, and it should be fitted with a 15 amp fast blow fuse. Obviously there is no fuse, which is not right, and I'm sure, I mean, I've read further on in the instructions, it says it must be 12 gauge wire, 12 AWG, which I think is American wire gauge, which I believe is 2mm section. So you know, I certainly wouldn't trust that at full power. Okay, well, it's quite difficult for me to get everything in shot all at once here. It's also taken me a little while to work out how this blimmin' thing works. Oh, what a complicated menu system. Well, it's not complicated, to be fair, but basically I couldn't get any squelch on it at all, and I think the owner had set it up, I don't know, there was some weird squelch setting, so I've done a factory reset on it. I'm sure he'll love me for deleting all his memories and all his tones and everything, but at least we get to test it properly. So power wise, as I say, I can only really operate it in, I think, what did I say it was? So we can test it in low 1 and low 2, I think it is. So if I push the low button, low 2, low 3, high. So low 1, you can see I've got an SWR power meter rigged up to it with a 100 watt dummy load, 150 watt dummy load connected up. So as we key it, you can see the power come up. So at the moment it's drawing just over 2 amps into the dummy load, and it's giving me pretty much bang on 5 watts, which is what it should be. So if we go to load 2, that's giving me just over 10 watts, look. So output's fine. I want to test the receive, so what I've done, I did try connecting it up to this, but for some bizarre reason it doesn't like my communications tester, and it pushes it over. So what I've done, I've connected a telescopic whip up. I've got the frequency set at 145.325, which is the same as the radio, and I'm just gonna pop that tone in. You can hear it just breaking through. There we go. I mean, I'm not connected directly to the area, but it is working. Yeah, happy with that. So there we are. Everything is working as it should be. The selector now is working perfectly, up and down, no issues at all. On up and down on the mic. No, this one isn't that easy. Lamp. Huh. Pretty lights, look. They're good little radios, I suppose. I do like Yaesu stuff. I've got a Yaesu portable myself, multi-band. It basically is a shack in a box. It does pretty much every band that you can think of. But yeah, all working. All I need to do is have a chat with the owner, see what he wants me to do about this, if anything. So bear with me, I'll let you know the verdict.